everyone. We wanted to welcome you to this session where Sabine and me would like to discuss Ananke's Festival of Literature that is happening on this month end. So, Sabine, please tell us the idea behind the festival. What inspired you to start this?
Uh, this year, for the past 2 3 years, um, you see so much happening around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's always been this media warfare and things going on, but it has taken another new dimension and level. So the kind of media messaging there is, and the kind of you also see the kind of subversive efforts from all across the world. So aligned with that, and discussing all these things with you and uh, all my other amazing allies, um, we decided, and we, Namrata, you and I have always been on the same page,
Yeah.
sort of like finishing, you know,
Yeah.
sentences. so, so yeah, so this is how, uh, this time around the theme came up.
Hmm.
I spoke to Arpita as well. Arpita Das, publisher Yoda Press, and I asked her, and Izedi as well, and they were all about speaking truth to power. So yeah, that's how it all began. So, and you tell me, Namrata, what what your thoughts were.
See, I'll tell you something. My journey with Ananke has been, I think, as old as when it started, which is in 2021. I have been following you online. I have been a spectator. I mean, say not somebody who participated till you invited me in 2023. When you invited me for that panel, for the last 3 years, I participated, and I realized that my usual complaint always has been, I write about it very extensively, that I don't feel that the lit fests are very inclusive or are very open. They have a lot of gatekeeping happening. They have a lot of censorship happening in terms of topics. You cannot say this, you cannot talk this. Oh, you are aligning to this, you have this on your social media, you cannot be a participant, we cannot have you with this person. And there are so many things, and that's one of the reasons what attracted me to Ananke was this. Oh, this feels so fresh. This feels like everybody's what they should be. They are as honest as they can be. They are just bringing their own self. They are talking about everything that is affecting uh, everywhere across the globe. Like today, if you say that we have XYZ problems in India, we also have ABC problems in Pakistan happening, and all of them are somewhere correlated. We need to talk about it as artists, as writers, as people who have the power of pen. That's what I said in the live session, that hame school mein sikhate the ki pen is mightier than sword. So
Yeah,
taking inspiration from that, our theme this year has to be that we actually see whether we are able to use that sword. Are we able to use it freely? Are we able to talk about the truth that is happening, why we should not be talking about it? So then when I came on the
absolutely.
panel, I saw the questions, I saw how we talked about things. We talked about Dalit representation in that panel. We talked about queer representation. We talked about how publishing is still struggling to open up to authors from marginalized communities or accepting their stories to publish. We had Arpita from Yoda Press on that as well. So then, of course, then the second year I came up as the partner on new operations front. So since then, we've been working together, bringing people from every part of the world that we can think of. And that's the other point that I highlighted, is that it's so lovely to ensure that it is digital, which means we have no boundaries. We can invite
Yeah.
everyone,
Yes.
anyone,
Yes.
and we can, request them for their time. When we just talk, we can ask them to lend their voices to us.
Yeah. And the other thing about being digital, for me, it's digital has always been a priority because you know access is everything. When we were doing the Girls Summit, I think back in 2020 or 2019, you know when I saw the analytics, the people from places like Mongolia, you don't get to hear that,
Yes.
at least, um, I didn't. And I was so happy to see that there were people from different areas, joining in. They had access. So that has always been something really close to me, for a young girl or a boy, having a simple smartphone. They can access, all these conversations, and it can give them different alternate perspectives, and that has always been, my thing. So what if we can't go to XYZ place? I don't want to go there. I mean, yeah, it'll be fun going there. Traveling is great, but it's important that you have that accessibility uh, to watch and learn and network as well. So yeah,
And being digital also means that we are making it inclusive as much as possible. So that's another
absolutely.
point that attracted me, because my fight with a lot of lit fest that happen in India is that you don't even mention if your place is wheelchair friendly. Do you think I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
bring my friend who uses a wheelchair? You don't have answers. I've been blocked by lit fests because of these things, and that shuts out a lot of people. I have a friend who's a wheelchair user. I don't know if that friend will ever be invited to major lit fest. They have written a brilliant book, but because
yeah,
they will have to make that everything accessible, including the stage for them to be on stage. But we had them last year here, and it was brilliant,
yeah,
because this is
yeah,
what the power of inclusivity is. We need
absolutely.
everyone should be able to add their voices, add their to these thoughts. They should be able to talk. So like I was talking, this year we also have cinema. Do you want to talk about this? We have actually many interesting panels, many interesting
Yeah,
filmmakers who are working on some brilliant topics of documentaries and independent cinema, who are going to
yeah.
be sharing
Yeah,
space.
yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited about it. We've got up and coming
Yeah,
filmmakers as well. So it's and the best thing is, we have a lot of pre-recorded sessions as well. So
yeah,
it's not even time bound, right? So everyone is excited about that, because they're all able to pitch in, at their convenience. So it adds a whole new dimension. And when you do that, they have this ownership, and they,
yeah.
and it shows in the
Shows.
in the conversations as well, right?
Here, I want to talk something very personal that I haven't even shared with Sabine. We've been too busy to discuss, but this has to be documented. So, Sabine, I'm sure you must be aware. Since last 2 years, I'm trying to gather a panel for climate change. You remember
Yeah,
last year also it didn't happen. So this year
yeah.
also I didn't hear back from the people I have reached out, except one. And but then when the others didn't respond, I told that person, which we usually say, that in case you want to lead it alone, if you have a presentation or you want to do it. So that person has actually created the entire panel. They have worked
Wow.
hard on finding names, numbers of people who are relevant, who should be spoken to. And they have even told me that in case you're not able to get through, I have another five ready in case this four don't work. But this panel has to happen. These voices need to be spoken. This is the need of the hour. This is the topic that every one of us needs to be talking today. And it's disheartening that it will not happen, because एक तो हमको ज्यादा लोग space देते ही नहीं. We don't get stages very often. So
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
are getting a stage, I would like to actually make sure, so that person has gone through that entire trouble, where she has shared numbers, she had shared Instagram profile, that इनको बुला सकते हो, इनको बुला सकते हो, इनका ये number है, आप इनसे बात कीजिए, this is more relevant, this is where it is happening. So it is not just us two working in independence, or
I know,
there's so
exactly.
much of it coming together. Like
Yeah,
Naima this time, she has poured in so many names.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's
And
it's very.
Tarun Saint,
Yeah,
you know,
Tarun saying definitely a
um,
huge, that entire uh, speculative fiction, that entire topic that I told
I'm
on
so
live, that we
excited
have so
about
many.
it.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. The lineup is brilliant. Some terrific names there. Even the languages panel that I'd spoken, we are having this
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
We are
yeah,
having across languages, and all this is possible because there are people who think and who help us think
exactly.
beyond what we are capable of. when they add
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
thoughts, their voices, it gives a very new direction. So this was very thrilling that, they want that climate change topic to be talked about. And I also felt,
Yeah.
but somewhere, sometimes we get limited. We are very
Yeah.
emotional about topics. We want it to happen, but yeah, we can't have access or thoughts about everything that is happening. But it's so
Absolutely.
good to
Absolutely.
have people like Dr. Kanika. So Dr.
Yeah.
Kanika is the person who's going to be a part of the climate change panel, and she's the one who's helped me with names, numbers, and everyone. She's spoken to them personally and told them that you will receive a personal invite for this and to take it forward. So it's just, this is how a community happens. This is how it should
Exactly.
be.
Exactly. Exactly. And magic happens. When I spoke to Tarun, he said, and I that's what I usually do, floating the idea, even if it,
Yeah,
for me, it's like just float the idea because, you don't know how helpful, because you're always scared, oh, what if they might, what if they say no or
yeah,
something like that. You're always like, a bit hesitant, but I've learned that it's always good, to just share your thoughts and see how it goes. And 90 to 95% of the times, everyone, is to jump on board and, help, because maybe through this collective, that, this festival of literature is, they can see, impact being created. And I think everyone feels that ownership as
yeah,
well, which has always been the vision. It's a space where we can all, have dialogue, have discussions, and, walk the talk. So yeah. Another aspect of this festival, or any of, the efforts that we do, is onboarding students as well. This time around, we've onboarded former students of the Citizen Foundation, so that, they're able to network and engage with, these thought leaders, because that is again really important, because, and why that is important is because public speaking is very difficult, or, having the opportunity to network with, again, Annie or Naveen Kishore or Urvashi Butalia. At this time around, Francesco Verso, Tariq Ali, all these amazing people. So it's not easy for, aspiring men and women to engage, because they don't get that opportunity. So, it's important to build a space where we can do that, and we can offer them that. And when we were doing the girls summit, I'm bringing back, old memories. When we were doing that, so we had a collaboration with the
yeah,
Citizen Foundation back then as well. And uh, and there were students age 18 and above. And the first question that the TCF people asked me was, that the girls might be hesitant, or, their English might not be, up to the par, or, they were just asking me. And I was like, English is not my mother tongue as well. And, this is a space, if we are not providing them an opportunity, not every space does that. And, if language is not a barrier, they should be confident, and we'll be there to help them, support them. It can be scripted, or they can go unscripted as well. It's entirely up to them. And Namrata, uh, the way the girls handled that was mind blowing. We had a 13-year-old, she read from a script, but, doing that live you know, that was something amazing. We had a 16-year-old who interviewed, the director of the Jane Goodall Institute.
Mhm.
And the kind of questions we worked on it together, but initially the girls came up with the questions. We told them, you come up with the questions and then we'll discuss it, and you can take it forward. And the confidence that they gained from that, I mean, you could see them shining. So yeah, that's another aspect of the Lit Fest, or any of the space that we create. Okay, I've spoken too much.
I also want to I also want you to speak about the change in the name this year, because that's something that I had also explained in Instagram in the live that we couldn't host. Is that initially Ananke's Lit Fest was called Ananke's Women in Literature
Yeah,
Festival,
yeah,
and but
yeah,
somehow we realized during conversations that it didn't sound very inclusive to a lot of our
yeah,
allies across genders. And so this year, the name has been changed and it's
yeah,
Ananke's Festival of Literature, which we are hoping
yeah.
it is more inclusive, because that's what we want to stand for. We want to have allies across genders who are able to put their thoughts forth. And it's not just about celebrating women writers, it's about celebrating voices across the global south. That's what Ananke has always stood for.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and you've, said it brilliantly. I cannot add more, but the agenda is to be more inclusive, and, focus on voices rather than, voices. Yeah. It's important to include everyone, every perspective, um, intersectionally, gender, disabilities, like you said, that's so important. Um, uh, and yeah, race, religion, everything, including everything. So yeah, you've said it very nicely. So I don't need to add more.
That's amazing. So, any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
Uh, I think, we've got 40 plus sessions, and talking about the languages series that we are doing, Bengali, Urdu, Seraiki, Punjabi, and Malayalam. The idea was, um, we talk about language, we talk about literature, we talk about translation, but I really wanted to focus on languages, our languages. um, you know all the lit fest that we attended or participated. I think this would be something very unique, because it'll be bilingual, number one.
Right.
And we're always speaking in colonial language, which is English.
Yeah.
Yes, now I always explaining this, that yes, English has been quote unquote assimilated, but I think it's really important to celebrate, and talk about the impact of these you know s- beautiful languages, the rich heritage, the culture. When you think about the Bengali language, the cinema, the art, there's so many things we need to celebrate, and we need to celebrate not just in the English language. We need to celebrate it, in Bengali or in Seraiki, because even hearing them, it's Seraiki, it's music to your ear, it's so lilting. So and then it also becomes more inclusive as well, right? So people who are not well versed, or who do not speak English language, why should they be excluded? Let's celebrate, a regional language, our languages, and yeah.
So these panels on languages will be bilingual. They will have authors, they will have translators also, and they will have the authors who write in that original language of the panel. So the
Yeah.
idea behind this is that both the people who are working on that language and bringing the language globally would be able to add to the conversation. And as Sabine rightly said, nobody should feel left out just because the panel is in English. That's why the idea will be to have all the panels in bilingual, both the languages that the panels will be talking about.
I think that this is like a first.
Yes,
I'd
this is a
like to say, yeah, that this is like the first that is being done, which again excites me.
Yes. So we have some very brilliant names who write in these languages or who translate from these languages. And we both are actually very excited to see your reactions, see your feedback, any thoughts that you might have. And of course, we would also like to invite all of you to join us. It feels good to see people joining us, asking questions. You could ask questions to some of your favorite authors, participate in the discussions and the panels. You can write to us to become a delegate. We'll give you access and all the details on how you can become a delegate. And of course, you can always watch the live telecast on Ananke's Facebook and YouTube channels on April 29th, 30th April, and 1st May.
Yeah. Labor Day.
Yeah. So that's all for this discussion. That's all we wanted to share with you. We wanted to let you know the idea that we had and the theme for this. And we look forward to having you all there cheering for this on 29th April. Any last thoughts, Sabine?
You should have the last thoughts.
My last thought is that I hope we get more and more audiences because these voices need to reach
Absolutely.
more and more people than what we did
Absolutely.
last year. So our reach is always, our idea is always to have more and more reach, more and more people get to listen, get to participate. So, and that's one of the ideas of keeping the videos on YouTube even after the fest is over.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
in case you have any, for any reasons, if you're unable to participate in the live telecast, you can still watch them. You can still comment, let us know your thoughts. You can reach out to us on social medias, DMs to share your thoughts. We are always open to them. As I said, it's just not two of us discussing and ideating. It's always a lot of us putting their minds together. And though they all don't show like this, but yes, there are too many people that we could thank. So thank you, all of you, for all your support, and we continue looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.